Nice. All right. I think we're capping out right now. So why don't we go ahead and get started at 11:47, April 21st, on this wonderful panel that we have, Disruptive Marketing for a Disruptive Market. We have Jason, Nancy, Rebecca, and Manal, correct me if I'm mispronouncing it, from Echo Millennial, Cal State University, Fullerton, SBDC, Asians in LA, Cox Communications, and Trigger. And so we can talk about so many things, but I know we're capped out at a very time-stamped session at 12 minutes. So I just want to kick it out to maybe open comments to any of you to reflect on the panel, to think about anything that you thought was unique, that's particularly applicable to ABAOC, to our businesses, or maybe any questions that you have that maybe you want to echo. So I'll leave it to the panel to kick it off. I'm Tom Nguyen again from Nguyen Corp Solutions, Staffing and Management Consulting, and really proud to be host of this panel. So feel free to jump in, or I will pick volunteers.
We were just, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, please, Nancy, go ahead.
I just wanted to say kudos to everyone. Jeff and I were just on earlier and saying that we were all taking notes because we learned so much from each other. So thank you for sharing your stories. I feel like I learned a little bit about AR, Jason, from you. And so true, Jeff. Like, I remember that ALS campaign. It was like something that is so memorable. And I love doing campaigns that are always for good. So thank you for sharing. Just wanted to give you guys props.
So Nancy, I want to second that and also say how humbled I am to be part of this group and this panel. And I've learned so much from all of you. And what really struck me about this panel is the diversity in the approach. You know, we all are talking about the different topic, but the stories are different, the creativity is different, the solutions are different, which is amazing about marketing in general. So that's all I wanted to share. Thank you.
I wanted to, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Jason.
Thank you. No, I just wanted to say, like, I was super impressed with the work that Nancy's doing, but I think also how timely it is. You know, like, I think as marketers, sometimes we're just hustling, we're just chasing the next deal and the next project, and you know, this is the time that we should be thinking about, like, how do we use those skills and apply them to good, and not just selling shoes and movie tickets and, you know, a car or something like that. Like, how do we, we have such a skill set, like, how do we apply it to actually make an impact in the world? So we're going to follow your lead, Nancy. That was super impressive. Thank you.
I was going to bounce off of what Manal had said. You know, it's really just striking how, you know, we do come from, you know, such a, you know, range on the spectrum there. We're so different, but at the same time, what binds us is this passion for what we're doing, like what Nancy's doing, and everyone in their answers, the work that they've brought to the table, and the common theme of understanding what disruptive means to all of us. And while, yeah, like Tom was saying, there's just hundreds of different ways to go about it, we all kind of gravitate to understanding what we need to do, like what is the net effect of what we're trying to accomplish. And I thought that was really cool to hear you guys talk about that.
I was kind of curious, you know, coming from an enterprise, how, and I'm sure we all have experiences at various size companies, how we would be disruptive if we were in much smaller companies, or potentially don't even have a marketing team ourselves. We're all marketers, but what is it like for many of the businesses that don't have those marketing capabilities?
Rebecca, that's a really good point and a good segue into one of the questions we have from one of the participants, Dawn, about what type of local marketing have you found successful in trades industry? So from a small business standpoint, you know, what you do at an enterprise level can be a macro element of what we do, right? And I think in some points, content is king, content creation, and then finding the medium that might be cost effective for that budget to deploy it. But if you could possibly shine a little bit of light on it. So that's my perspective, but shine perspective for Dawn about in the trades industry, local marketing techniques. Maybe Manal is something that is more intimate with it, but then Nancy could be from a Facebook standpoint. And perhaps Rebecca, you are from the Cox standpoint, and then the interactive ability from Jason. So I think you all could maybe help Dawn a little bit on this question that you see in Q&A.
So let me quickly interject here, Tom. You said a keyword, content. Content is key. It's still king too. It works in terms of marketing, but more specifically in this digital space. And to focus on the small business community, user-generated content is what's really helping our small business owners see results. You know, that old idea of the 5-star review that got started by Amazon have exploded, because now your customers, whom you could turn into fans, would become the voice of your brand and help you get the word out. And there is nothing better or stronger than a warm referral from another client who's already happy and excited about what you are doing. So I'm going to turn it over to Nancy.
I think Manal covered it in the earlier session as well. Yeah, there's so much you can do just starting out in social media. I know that I started really in Facebook. It's free. You start with your local, networks, your friends and family, and it just kind of grows from there. And you build by, having great content, whatever that is, whether it's interviews or some great article, and then kind of what I shared before, it's always like a give and take. And so you share information and you get information, and then you can share on other groups. There's a lot of things that you can do, that doesn't cost anything, and it really is for free. And then you can amplify that with paid social ads. I'm sure Jeff and Jay are so good at that as well on the digital front. So you can kind of add on from there, Jeff. But there's a lot of things you can do, starting just with social media, I believe, for a lot of small and local businesses. And with Facebook, you can just really do a lot of targeted ads based on what nationality you want to reach, what area, region. There's a lot of great tools that you can use through social media as well.
Absolutely. Content is definitely king. Content is the fuel for the fire, right? And the fire to me is this unprecedented level of attention, just attention to the computer, attention to the screen. Before, everyone in the web space was talking about, okay, well, how are we going to get attention, that 30-second fishbowl span of attention? Well, that's increased just by sheer necessity of people being stuck in front of their computer and stuck on their phone. I mean, that's all they have in front of them right now. And so taking advantage of that, I think, is just key. And whatever way you can do that to take advantage of that attention, do it.
On the AR side, it is unfortunate that it's a little bit expensive right now, even at the kind of like smallest level. So local companies can do things on social AR platforms like Snap and Facebook and Instagram. And there are much kind of like lower cost ways to execute on there. One thing to consider if you are doing kind of like local handouts or print material and stuff is, if it makes sense, you can add a QR code that launches an AR experience. We've done that a lot in retail, where it's been really effective in that the consumer doesn't actually know it's AR. You're more trying to answer a question, what is the technology behind blah, blah, blah. And then when they scan that QR code, we answer that question in a very kind of engaging way. But the consumer is not going to it because it's something gimmicky. They're going to answer a key question before they buy from you. So if that makes sense, then that's something to consider. But again, I think the going through the social route is probably a much more cost-effective way at this stage.
Every time you talk, Jason, I feel like I'm getting smarter. Learning about AR. Really, let me take some notes.
So Tom, if I may quickly, I really would like to share with the attendees a quick resource. At the SBDC, and again, I'm not selling here. That service is already prepaid for by your tax dollars. And as a matter of fact, we have our SBDC Marketing Lab Today team. We have a booth. Stop by, get some information. The services that we're talking about right now, marketing analytics, SEO, website, social media, all of it is offered to you at no cost whatsoever. So I highly encourage our participants to take a minute, stop by the booth, meet Roger and Hugo, both of our team members. Roger is the director of the center, as a matter of fact, and then you'll be able to capture more information and hopefully receive the assistance that you're looking for at no cost.
Absolutely.
Such a good point.
Yeah, absolutely. SBDC, whether you're a startup or at a scale state, Glenn Stearns of Stearns Lending, billionaire, made a big plug for SBDC on Undercover Billionaire,
Oh,
and
yes.
he
You're
actually got
right, Tom.
on and launched his, that $100 thing to turn it big. And I don't want to give any plot away, but
Tom, I love
SBDC.
that show.
Oh, I
Yes,
know,
it was so
Nancy.
good. And I was like, where's my local
Right,
SBDC? This
right.
is so great.
I belong to SCORE, and I'm
Yeah,
part of this different things with CEOs forums. But SBDC is it's a great place to stop by, and we're funding it, so might as well use our tax dollars. So thanks for that,
absolutely.
and appreciate you asking. So the question that we had was another question that we're having is about small business, guerrilla marketing, disruptive marketing. I'm going to touch upon because of time the 6 points that each of you brought in during today at this live panel and also earlier. Jeff at Echo Millennial is disruptive in that he said flip the switch, and this 30-second fishbowl time is very tough, but very attractive to a marketer. Manal at Cal State University Fullerton SBDC says platforms for conversation. User-generated content. There are a lot of social media platforms. Now, Nancy at Asians in LA and A24 Monati said, hashtag this is our story. Reach out in Facebook is very important to get that audience. I know Rebecca has a lot of experience in her 20 years with Cox, who claims to be an accidental marketer, but is a super guru. Says preference for the brand, and I see it as brand affinity is very valuable, and it's fundamentalist too. Jason, where do I start with XR Tech Solutions? And so grateful to have Jason because he brings in the cutting edge disruptive marketing that everyone thinks of the Dove campaign, but people don't think of the platforms. Well, he's got the XR 5G content. The COVID lifted his business, you know what I mean, versus suppress your business. How does it lift? Well, it lifts with QR codes. And so I like that message to somewhat wrap up is maybe don't we, it's hard if things are well to say this to people who aren't doing well. So please take this with a message of more inspiration and advice versus ivory tower is how can we see a challenging time be flipped upside down with our way of thinking that COVID could help our business, and perhaps we could use marketing to disrupt that. So on that, I'd like to be mindful if we're really tough on time, but if we have a minute to really just kind of end on that and see what you all think.
I mean, I think on that note, like I think why AR had that success and how you kind of flip is that before marketing was about, waving your arms and, trying to be different and capturing attention and stuff. But post-COVID, it felt like we had to provide utility. We had to help the consumer solve a problem. And that's what people were gravitating towards. So I think that could be a flip for other businesses, like it's what is that? Where can you kind of drill down onto something that you're actually offering something useful in the marketing as well? So just a thought.
So to build quickly on what Jason just said, listen to what your community and your clients are saying and respond to them and pivot accordingly. We are in business because we are trying to offer solutions to our community of customers, regardless if they are local, national, or global. And as you listen in, you're able to pivot, you're able to get cues, and you're able to adjust quickly to make sure that you are responding. COVID required us to offer convenience, and that convenience is going to still be around because we spoiled our clients. And with that, how far can you take it, and how far are you able to accommodate your clients' needs?
Okay, I'll jump in. I think it's really at this point, it's developing the relationships with your clients and your customers. Being that educational source, filling that utility need for them, as people continue to keep their circles small. I think them turning to the faces and the people that they like, know, and trust is just going to continue to be even more of the trend. And so, yeah, develop out those relationships.
I'm also seeing a lot. I mean, I think all of us have experienced something so crazy this whole year. And I know that there's a lot of businesses and people that are struggling. And it's also just a time for reflection. I think a lot of people are deciding if this is the right career path or the right business, and even maybe a personal reflection. I think we're going to come out a little different this time, and finding out what your passions are, and maybe it's not just to make money, but to kind of give back. And how do I kind of combine my passion with my experience and my background, and be able to sustain as well. So I think all of us are going to be changed. I really feel like it's a reset for our community and our society as a whole. And hopefully there will be great change. There's been a lot of terrible things in our Asian, American community, but I do believe that there will be great change from this. One of the things that we're doing is working on the very first Asian representation in Hollywood research studies. So I feel like that is a beacon of light. Because as we have more representation in Hollywood, I believe that this will be a bigger, a catalyst for change and a bigger voice for our Asian American community. So there's a lot of ways that you can take something bad and turn it into something good. So I hope that's inspirational for everyone.
I think the only other thing I'd like to add is just really make sure that you are where your audiences are learning and knowing where that is. So, I think that first question came from the trade industry. Well, where is your audience? What social network are they on, right? Not all social networks are right for the right people. So if you can do everything that I'm sorry, did you guys not hear me?
In the last 5 seconds,
It was like, let me tell you some great advice, and then
well, I'll just close by saying it was brilliant, and I'll see you guys next time. No, I was just saying, just make sure that you are where your audience is. So, you guys know best, where is that trade audience? Where is, where are the people that you are trying to engage, and make sure that you're there. And don't let money stop you. Things do not need to be perfect for you to start to grab attention. And you can play and take a whole bunch of risks and see what works, what starts to generate that conversation. And once you know what starts to generate that conversation, now you have your starting point. So
it's not all about money.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, everybody. If everyone has chimed in on that. And business is our middle name, and we hope we gave a lot of good business advice, specifically from a marketing standpoint. So on behalf of Manal, Jeff, Rebecca, Nancy, and Jason, I'm Tom Nguyen, and of ABAOC and WinCorp Solutions. I'm going to sign off, but stay on. And I really hope we all, this Brady Bunch family, can get together, hopefully sometime and break bread. It'd be very nice. So keep in contact.
Sounds good.
Shoot me an email if you need anything in the community, business, community, whatever. Let me know. I'd love to meet you.
So
Thank you
nice
so much
to
for
meet
having
you
us.
all.
Thank you,
Great
everyone.
job, Tom. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
I just want to remind everyone that we are going into our virtual exhibitor booth and networking portion. So I highly recommend you to stop by each booth, network yourself and your business, and meet everyone that's there. You can visit our ABAOC booth or any of the other booths that are out there. So enjoy the virtual world today. And I'd like to invite everyone to the closing remarks we have at the end. So please join us there. Thank you, everyone, again, and we'll see you guys shortly.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank
Stay
you.
well.
Bye-bye.
Bye.